We are Gensler. We're a design firm. We make all kinds of different things, like this, or even this. We're a global firm with offices and projects all over the world. But we're made up of people from local communities, kind of like us.
So we know a thing or two about communities.
But why communities?
We believe strongly in the power of our people and their innovative diversity to create a better world. And
We believe everyone matters.
Strong communities have that same perspective. Here's what our community said. So it seems like communities need the proper space types to live, work, somewhere to gather, and somewhere you can hang out at the end of the day. But what's more important is how these spaces work together to create equity, prosperity, health, and sustainability for the whole community.
so why aren't developers already thinking about communities this way?
Because the traditional development model looks at housing, workplace, public space, and amenities in complete isolation and solely focuses on profit.
So when you think of profits before people, communities suffer.
Inequity leads to distress, distress leads to displacement, and displacement leads to decay. But if instead Gensler became the developer with communities as the focus, we could look at these space types completely differently. Rather than for economic gain, we would think about how all these space types can work together to create equity, prosperity, health, and sustainability for everyone in the community. With our new model, we could just start by looking at housing. Current housing models are either built for profit or publicly funded, and neither meet the true needs of a community. Housing for profit is unaffordable, and publicly funded housing isn't sustainable because it's built cheap and it's hard to maintain. So it seems housing is marketing to income numbers, not people. And it's not even doing that well. With the previous model, we see that developers are targeting two polar ends of the income spectrum, the wealthy and the less fortunate. When people become the driver, we begin to see the housing market in a completely different way. We see that there are a diversity of people that the profit-driven model just isn't reaching. If Gensler applied its community-driven model to housing, we could begin to create diverse housing options for all walks of life, helping to establish the foundation for the well-being and betterment of the whole community.
But it's not just about housing. It's about challenging the real estate development model through the power of design. So we're no longer creating projects for profit. We're creating communities for people.
Just because we put people first doesn't mean we can't also profit from it. Architects might only see 3% return on their investment because we typically only handle design and oversee construction. Whereas developers see significantly larger ROI because they also handle all of these other elements of pre-design and property management. If Gensler took agency over all of these, we would significantly increase our return on investment. With Gensler as a developer, we would be fully integrated, providing end-to-end development, design, and community management services. With robust technology, we can elevate design for our communities. There are other added values besides just economic return. Clients would see us as a one-stop shop. We could also create both development and financing practice areas. We could establish long-term equity in our projects, nurture strategic alliances with contractors, and begin to offer new forms of management services. So, what's our market? We're not really competing with company X, Y, or Z. We're just competing with the status quo of real estate development, which no longer limits us to a project type or project scale, and instead opens up the possibility to create change at every scale in our communities. In the traditional development model, a developer goes to the bank to secure funding, then to municipality to acquire a site, then an architect to design the space, and finally a client to inhabit it. With our new model at a small scale, Gensler becomes the developer and financier, which frees us up to do what's best for the community. On a medium-scale project, which may require more capital, Gensler could partner with a private investor to develop and finance the project. On a large-scale project, Gensler could collaborate with multiple partners to create even greater community impact. Our partners could be private investors, municipalities, contractors, developers, or even other architects who share the same passion for communities.
So why Gensler?
We are so well positioned to take on this opportunity. We have a global footprint, an ever-growing practice area and market expertise, the Gensler Research Institute, and an extensive client network that links us to even more communities.
But most importantly, being community-focused is at the heart of our culture.
We can't be global if we're not local first. Gensler believes growing provides opportunities for our people and our firm to realize our full potential. We believe everyone matters.
That means not developing projects for profit, but developing communities for people.
I'm Ryan McCrae.
I'm Eric Biber.
I'm Darshana Patel, and
We
are
Gensler.
Gensler.
Gensler.